welcome to Anders YouTube. And today we are reacting to Abba confronting Destiny about his relationship situation. Now, I don't know too much about Destiny, but what I do know is that his marriage is like an open marriage, I want to say. And within his marriage, his wife, right, his spouse, has been going around doing things that he doesn't agree with. So that put him into a spotlight mainly because of how many people know him and people that know his wife and things like that. So, it kind of brought him into a spot that he didn't want to be in. And Abba, I meant to say, has been on his platform before. He's been on his channel before, and that's how they end up knowing each other. I don't know if they're friends or not. I don't know like the best of friends, but they know each other. They know of each other, and now they're sitting side by side, and they're about to talk about his current situation. So that's honestly what's gonna happen. That's honestly what's going on. That's what I'm reacting to. Um, I'm going in with an open mind, but like I said, I don't know too much about this situation. I don't know too much about what's going on with Destiny. I don't know too much. So I'm just gonna react to it and say my little piece here and there. And I don't know. What y'all think? What y'all think about this whole situation? I'm honestly fresh and new to this situation. I just seen this pop up on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go and react to it. But nonetheless, let's go and get with the video.
In light of everything that's constantly happening all around you, are you tired of it? Are you sick of it already?
Of what?
Of your life being discussed ad nauseum everywhere.
I usually am pretty good about bouncing back. Like my mental baseline is pretty high. Usually there are certain things that I know will trigger the out of me. So like right now, like if I were to go and start stalking like Melina's like social media, there would be things that I would think about it would trigger the out of me. But I just don't.
Wait, it would chew you because of the context that you have with her, and you're like, oh, why is it so different now?
Because of a lot of stuff that I know that would bother the out of me.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
This is my thing. Why put yourself in that predicament? To where you know that eventually, at some point in time, she's going to do something that you're not going to agree with. I think that's why most relationships fail, is because the man has to compromise with something that he know he's not going to be comfortable with. But as long as it keeps you happy, he's going to have to do it. And I feel like that's one of these cases. I feel like that's this case, and to where he had to compromise with Destiny. I mean, he had to, yeah, I said, I feel like with this situation, with his position, he had to compromise with his wife to make her happy, to be able to keep her there. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad because most relationships are like that. And now even celebrity marriages are like that. We could take Will and Jada, for example. We could talk about them. We could talk about any relationship. We could talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce for all I care, but even that situation is like kind of different. But it's like don't compromise into something that you know that you are going to be uncomfortable with. Let's continue.
but I'm not like spilling everything everywhere. Or I sent you a thing that had a lot of information about that. I don't know how much of that you peeked through, but
About what?
the stuff that had happened over the past couple months.
Well, I mean, there's the stuff that you and I discussed privately, and that's all I looked into. So I haven't.
But regardless of that, yeah. So I'm trying not to blow anybody's shit up.
Yeah.
But like that, yeah. But as long as I like avoid things that I know, like if I start running down this hole, it's gonna trigger the out of me. Usually, if I go to sleep, I wake up, and my mindset is always like, as long as things are moving towards a better place, then I think that'll be okay.
Yeah.
And something I've been talking about it on stream recently, especially over the last month, as I've kind of like reevaluated a lot of things in my life, is like on this year, I've done a really good job at making new friendships, at making new professional contacts, at keeping toxic people at like an appropriate length.
That is true. I see your YouTube. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you making some bread. The AdSense dollars coming in.
Yeah. But I had
you could tell by like how he's responding that he doesn't want to talk about this. You could tell by like how he's like speaking, his body language, his demeanor. Like you could tell he does not want to talk about it, but he has to. Excuse me. He has to talk about this situation. He has to, man, because how much media coverage it has gotten. It's gotten out of hand. It has gotten out of hand. So he has to say something. And at some points in life, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that goes with literally anything, talking about any situation, um, doing something that you know scares you, but you still have to do it because like it's worth it. It'll be worth it in the end. Um, yeah, let's keep going.
Had a couple of holdovers from the past that were still like pretty toxic, and Cherry was one of those, the BBD person, and then Melina and my relationship with her was one of those. So like technically, if these things like go away, everything else in my life is doing really well, and it just gives me like an opportunity to, I think, move forward in a healthier way. So I mean, it's all opportunities and shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a different question. From an ego's perspective, do you get bothered when your detractors are discussing it with this like "I told you so" and this and that and all this other stuff?
The only thing that bothers me is if I like miss something that's like I should have seen this, or I was too like ideologically motivated or something. Like if there's stuff that I had the information to see beforehand and I didn't, then I'm like, fuck. And I'll update my models accordingly. So for instance, one thing that I learned last year that was a really hard thing for me to learn. I don't know if we talked about this, but like with Max and Lav, is there are always like a few fundamental assumptions I bake into everybody's motivations, and one of those is self-preservation. And that was a really big one for how I dealt with people, because I'm like, I don't want to think of it like a leverage sense, but it's like if you have so much to lose by like trying to f me over, you're not going to do it because obviously that'd be stupid. And that was a huge oversight that I had with like Max and Lab. I never would have, because if anybody would have asked me, even if Max and Lab both saw me literally rape a woman, they're not going to say anything because it would destroy their whole lives. Like they're not going to do it.
You know what it makes me think of?
Yeah.
Do you know that story about the snake and the turtle?
I don't know what he's talking about, but that's wow. That's a broad statement there.
And like the snake is trying to cross the river.
The scorpion and the turtle. I think
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so he bites it. I feel like that is very accurate for people.
Yeah.
Even though it's against their better judgment and what's good for them, they will still bite the hand that feeds them.
Yeah, I never would have imagined that. Yeah. So I'll change things going on, but like obviously I know my relationship better than anybody else, and I know like I generally know what people around me want and what they're looking for, and red pillars like have all of their like thoughts and ideas about it.
My thing is, if you knew what's better for your relationship, why are you in this position that you're in now? But that's kind of contradictory within itself.
But one thing that helps is when people are so incredibly incorrect, like it makes it easy to like not care as much. So like I don't know how much you like met Melina or saw Melina, or wait, you've seen us both in real life before, right?
The time that I saw you guys here, and then we went to eat afterwards, and that's the end of it.
Okay, yeah. So like these predictions, like for instance, like Melina was using me for a green card. Melina hates the United States. Like if we were never back together again, it wouldn't surprise me if she actually like abandoned the whole process. Because like why the f does she want a green card? Like her moving here was always one of our biggest like arguments, basically. Like she held it over for a long time. Like I moved to the United States for you, so blah 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 blah. Like, okay. A second thing was the age thing that I've said historically. The age thing was always a huge like point of contention between us, because Melina's by far the youngest person in terms of age gap that I've ever dated. Most of my girls have been 1 or 2 years away from me. And like red pill.
How old is Selena? Do y'all know? Let me know down in the comments. How old is she? Because I do not know. I do not know how old she is. I didn't know she was younger than them. Sorry. I keep yawning. I'm sorry.
Are saying like, oh, you should date younger women, that's way better. And it's like that was a point of contention. That wasn't a pro, that was a huge con, and we fought about that a lot.
So you didn't like her freshly just like legal scent?
Yeah, no. And then the idea that like I think if Melina left, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm trying to be somewhat respectful, but like if Melina would have left me for like Ben Shapiro or something, I think my ego would have been a little bit like, oh, this sucks or whatever. Like this guy's like excels in the traits that I excel at, maybe arguably better than me, right? But when it's somebody that is like in a totally different world in terms of like things that they offer or things that they do, then I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like different people gravitate towards different things. So like almost every red pill prediction about like my relationship or how it would end or things going on was like completely and totally off. And you can see the way they try to like twist it to make it work. So like it doesn't bother me that much. I don't
Yeah,
really care.
something about
Other than
using
basically,
you. Something about using you to get their platform up.
I feel like obviously like motherfuckers is gonna say anything to get their point across and make it seem like they were right. Especially like the whole red pill society, the whole red pill community. They always gonna say something to where it seems like they are right. Like, oh, I told you like this was gonna happen. You need to listen to me, listen to what I say. Most of the time, all the red pill community is just a whole bunch of guys that don't get no play. They don't get no play. They don't uh get females like that. They swear up and down they do, but they don't. They don't at all. But I don't know, man. Just, this is crazy.
yeah, like even that doesn't because like yeah, I've met girls that try to do that. Although that's actually pretty rare. But like Melina's community is all like completely and totally independent from mine. Like she doesn't like she's never leached off of my stream shit or any of that.
Yeah.
And if she wanted to, she probably could. Like obvious. One thing people will do is they'll try to insert a mind state and then look at the current actions and they'll see if the actions adhere to the mind state. So they say something like Melina is a leech. Probably. And then they'll see like, well, what did she do? And it's like, well, she moved in with you. She was on some streams. You should. And it's like, okay, that's kind of like a leech, right? But it's like, I think that's the wrong way to evaluate if the person was. I think what you have to do is you have to start over and be like, okay, let's say Melina is a leech. What would a leech do?
I feel like I think even saying that is kind of hard because the way people look at situations, they take someone else's situation, they like take what they learned from that situation and for what type of person what type of person this person was and what type of person that person was and try to compare it to everything. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's kind of hard for him to say that because like I said, it's contradicted within itself. They like I don't know Destiny. I don't know what is it, Selena, Melina. I don't know the girl's name. He didn't say about six different names by now, but it's like we don't know these type of people. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say what type of person this person actually is. We can't say what she actually is. We can't say who he actually is. But we're just going based off of what we seeing and how like they moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to say it because it's contradicted with itself.
And it would have been totally different actions than what Melina took. She would have spent way more time in the US. She would have collabed me way more on stream. She would have like told me like, can you please host me like over and over, like all these things. There were so many more things she could have done. She was like, but then it also feels dumb. It's like, I know my wife, like I know, or my ex-wife, I guess. Yeah, like I know like the things that drive her and what she wants or whatever. So yeah, but so I mean like yeah, I think that yeah, the thing that usually bothers me on public stuff is if there's something that I should have seen.
I didn't even notice. It didn't even register to me. He said ex-wife. I thought, wow, that was fast. I literally just seen this today. I literally just seen this today. Wow, that was fast. That- Wow, he acted quick. He acted quick.
That I like really missed. Maybe so, for instance, maybe with like the lab stuff, like if I would have known in advance, if I would have looked up that she'd made like other weird accusations against guys, I'm like, I shouldn't be anywhere near this person personally. That's something where it's like I could have like headed this off. But otherwise, yeah, when people make like wild predictions, it's like dumb. Also because like, and I'll say this, I think I made this prediction like 2 days ago. Like, most likely I'll get in another relationship. It will almost certainly be an open or poly one, just because that's like the lifestyle I gravitate towards, and it'll probably end. I doubt that it's unlikely that the next.
I'm gonna say this now. I feel like open relationships, um, poly relationships don't last long. I feel like they don't last long because it takes away the emotional aspect of relationship. When you get into a relationship, you're committing to someone that's gonna be your lifelong partner. You get what I'm saying? They're your how do I say it? How do I say it? Companion, almost so to speak. Uh, like they're everything. Like they're your sidekick. I don't even say sidekick, but they're your plus one or your whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they're with you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So you share everything. You share every emotional memory with them, every exciting memory, every happy, sad, angry moment with them. Like you share all that with this one person, and it should be like that. I don't know where this open relationship stuff came from. Like I don't know what's the deal with it, but it takes away the emotional aspect. It takes away the importance of the relationship, period. Because at that point, you're just messing with someone, and then going mess with someone else. Like, oh yeah, I'm with you, but I'm gonna go mess with all these other people still. You know what I'm saying? Like, I it's weird to me. At that point, why even be in a relationship if you're gonna do the same thing with someone else? And imagine someone that has never been in that type of relationship gets with someone that wants that type of relationship, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because at that point, it's like, why am I even with you? Where I could just go be with someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a weird world we live in. It's an evil world we live in.
Next person I date with my life partner. And when all of this happens again, it'll be the exact same things where poly open relationships don't work. These girls are going to dump you because it's open, and then we break up, and they'll be like, oh, look, see, we predicted everything. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
What about like Steven Crowder's relationship that just ended? They were monogamous for 10 years. What about my other four monogamous relationships?
I think the
right?
difference.
Monogamous relationships are different, dude. It's different because it given the same way. Open relationship, you're with someone, they can go see with someone else with no problem. Monogamous relationship, you're with someone, they go sleep with someone behind your back, and now it's a problem. Either way it go, it's going to be a problem. Well, you may not view it as a problem, to someone else's view as a problem, and it's not even like, oh, well, open relationships work. No, it's just based on like what you want, honestly. But I'm telling you that most relationships like that don't work. It will never work. It won't. And I've seen married couples be with each other for X amount of years. Obviously, it never works, but it's I don't know. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at the end of the day for those type of relationships. You know. I've seen like my uncle been married for years. He been divorced multiple times. I got another uncle, same thing. You know, I only have one uncle that actually been with. He been with my auntie for years, like just dating, boyfriend girlfriend for years, and they had just recently got married like not that long ago. So it's to each his own. So what like you think works. I feel like honestly you should date someone more than like 2 years for to know if you're gonna marry them or not. You know, it like uh, I feel like being with someone for 2 years. I feel like that's a little too quick for marriage. Like yeah, you can make 2 years with one person, but can we do everything with each other? It's like type thing. You know, it's one of those things.
For most people, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably count myself in that, is that we just don't have models of polyamorous or open relationships that seem to work in our lives. And so when we hear about this funky thing that looks so different and goes against the very traditional and
I.e., Jaden Will Smith.
way we've only seen it work around us,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for people to be open to that idea. I don't know any examples in my personal life that work, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
think most people who are watching know, because if you're not around these people enough, how would you ever find out? But we do have examples of monogamous relationships that work. So that's why we think, all right, well, listen, why would I think your model functions when the only ones I've ever seen are these ones that function?
Yeah, and I think that's fair. But the problem is like the level of conviction and condescension.
I think he's missing the point. I think he's missing the point of something that's normal versus something that's not normal, or something that's accepted versus something that's not accepted. You get what I'm saying? The only country I know where like having multiple wives is accepted is like in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Like where they can have multiple wives and all that stuff like that. That's the only place I know where like having open relationships is normal. You know what I'm saying? But in America, it's not normal. All you see is people in monogamous relationships. So when you see a poly relationship, it kind of throws you off. It's like, Why would you want that? Like that doesn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that's not normal to see, and it's not something that's accepted to see, versus something that's accepted to see and something that's normal. So maybe that's why um we see a lot of monogamous relationships and a lot of people that's been in monogamous relationships for years because it's accepted, it's normal, and we see that it works. You know what I'm saying? You may be in a bad relationship at one point, you may have some bad moments in a relationship, but it's normal and it's accepted, you know?
Ascension that comes from somebody. Like if somebody was like, so for instance, like a comment was like, man, that sounds wild, but like, I mean, if you guys are like fucking other people and everything, like, yeah, it seems like it just seems like it would be like a lot more stressful, or there's like a lot more chances for things to like not work. If that was like a comment, that's fair. I totally get that, right? But it's not.
Because that's exactly what it is. It's literally exactly what it is. It will never work. It will never work. I'm just with you. Okay, I'm with you. But I'm about to go fuck X, Y, and Z, spend the night at their house. They about to cook me food. Oh yeah, I gotta go back home. Oh yeah, I'm with you. I forgot I was with you. You see how that
Not that. It's like when you do this, like the nature of females is this will always blah 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 blah. And I was like, I mean, okay, dude, yeah.
Okay, that's probably the more extreme criticism from like red pillars generally. But what do you think to the more middle people who are just like, I don't know, from like a time perspective and emotional needs perspective, it just doesn't it doesn't seem to track on. Because yeah, there's some people who do the extreme stuff with female nature, blah blah blah. But a lot of other people are just saying like, I don't think that's a functional way to build.
all you think has been female nature. You give someone the freedom to go and mess with other people and still come back to you, they're gonna stretch it. You give someone, it's my thing, right? And this goes with like everything, the LGBTQ community, the Black Lives Matter movement, the Me Too movement. You give someone an inch, they gonna go a mile. They're gonna go 6 miles. They're gonna go all around the world because you gave them freedom to do something, and they didn't took it way way far. They didn't ran with it, and you can't say nothing because you allowed them to do it. You let them do that. You told them like, yeah, go ahead and do it, and they went and did it. And now they ain't gotten so out of hand. You can't do nothing about it. You can't even get upset at it anymore. You can't, and that's why poly relationships will never work. You gave someone an inch, and they went ran a whole mile.
Build a bond and like grow and start to trust, because you always have somebody else you can run to when your emotional needs are not met. You always have somebody else that you can confide into or get your sexual satisfaction from, thus pulling you away from your a relationship, which should be your priority. What would you say to those?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that take. I think I say as much on stream. I don't know where this impression comes from that I don't know if you've ever said this, but I see a lot of people saying like, oh, like this is why Destiny needs to stop like telling everybody to do poly to open relationships. I've said like a million times, like I don't recommend any part of my lifestyle for anybody. Everything about my lifestyle is like pretty exceptional, like outside the norm or whatever. So yeah, I don't even know if most people would gravitate towards or enjoy this particular type of thing. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, people are like, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would ever do this. They're like, okay, yeah, you don't have to. I don't think I'd even recommend it. But yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, you can obviously tell by the way he's reacting, by his body language. You can see on his face that he didn't want to talk about it, but he had to based on how wild the situation got out of hand. And obviously, him breaking up with her, like obviously he was gonna address that too. Like I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. But yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Gotcha.
Broiling on your mind?
No, man. Honestly, I really just came down to check in and see how you're doing, and then just chop it up a little bit. That's it.
So I'm assuming that's all that he had to say about his relationship and well, his past relationship with his ex-wife. Um, like I said, man, poly relationships will never work, mainly because it's not normalized and it's not accepted. If you want to go ahead and do it, by all means, you do you. You know what I'm saying? You grown, make your own decisions, but also understand what that comes with. And also you gotta think about the other person. You know, it's a lot of things you have to take into account. Trust, uh, the emotional factor of the relationship, the understanding factor of the relationship, like all that stuff. It's a lot of things you have to look into when it comes to poly relationships. Um, I would never be in one because no, you're not gonna do it to me. Not gonna do it to me. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Now I'm gonna look like Boo Boo the Fool. Look, no, do I got a name tag that say Boo Boo the Fool? No. No, I don't. I don't. So you're not finna come to me and be like, oh, hey, let's get in an open relationship. No. If you want to be in an open relationship, just go be single. Just go be single. Don't sit here and waste my time, my energy, my you know what I'm saying? Like mess up me, mess up my mindset, mess up my emotions because you want to go do well what you want to do. When it's Sterl turn around and come back to me, no, you're not gonna do that. Not gonna do it. No. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Destiny is gonna turn a new leaf into a new year and build a better relationship with someone else? And is he gonna continue into a monogamous or a poly relationship? Honestly, to be real, I don't know. I don't know. It's just me speaking. Like I said, I don't know, dude. I don't know his ex-wife like that. But based off what he spoke about, I think dude just needs to worry about himself for right now. He don't need to think about any women right now or think about any relationships. I do feel like it is kind of wild that his ex-wife was like really, really young. I honestly think that's what I said too. Is that you got with a very young person, open relationship. They're in America, got a green card to come to America. Obviously, they're gonna go and explore. You gave them freedom to explore. They're gonna go explore, and I think that's what honestly messed them up. You know, um, yeah. Prayers to this guy, man. Prayers to this guy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah. See you guys next time for the next video. Peace.